Be aware. Yes.
Hi, my name is Jean, and my major claim is advertising is harmful in a way that can mislead and brainwash the viewers. My first supporting claim is advertising makes misleading and untruthful information. Some advertisements that we see every day on TV, here in the radio, or on the internet are actually scams. Websites like classmates.com advertise to their subscribers to get in contact with one of their old classmates or friends if the subscriber upgrades to a gold membership, which never really happens. The company ended up paying a $9.5 million settlement in a lawsuit case. Sometimes advertisements use misleading terms to create an impression that the product is in better condition or performs better than it actually does in reality. This is more commonly seen in the food industry. It leads customers to eat food and engage in behaviors that are marketed as healthy rather than food and behaviors that are actually healthy. Some of the most misleading words are natural. One of the misleading words is natural. There is no legal definition for the word, therefore a lot of manufacturers like to abuse the word as they please. For example, Sierra Mist claims the product to be natural because the sugar used to sweeten the soda is derived from sugar beets, suggesting that in some way that this product is healthier than the other sugar-based product in the market out there. In reality, this is not quite the case because PepsiCo acknowledged that the sugar beets are probably genetically modified. Similar cases are Taco Bell seasoned beef. The beef is not real beef, but actually old fillers. Another misleading terms that they like to use is light. Food labeled as light are usually more processed than the original version. Lay's light potato chips, though advertised as fat-free and comes with half of the calorie of the regular potato chips, are actually cooked in olestra, which is not approved for sales in many countries, including the United Kingdom and Canada, also seen in tobacco companies. Other commonly misused words are mild, 100 calories, made with, whole grain, and free. These words are not legally defined, but they do have connotations that people will fall for. Sometimes advertisements fail to achieve a guarantee or commitment that makes to the viewers and consumers. For example, the makers of Extends, which is a product claimed to be scientifically proven to increase the size of a certain part of the male body, was fined $300,000 in July of 2006 by Orange County District Attorney Office for false advertising claims. But in 2010, the company had made a $6 million settlement to disappointed male consumers all over the world. My second supporting claim is that advertisement may attempt to brainwash the viewer. Advertisement can trick and manipulate the viewers into buying things that they don't really need. For example, in the bottom text of the cover page of the CoverGirl magazine says, "Simply ageless makeup from CoverGirl with Olay. It's an amazing anti-aging makeup that keeps CoverGirl from looking so young, blah, 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 and try it." This ad is made to target women that are scared of aging. This appeals to most women because all women want to be young and look beautiful. In 2009, the Olay ad for an eye cream had a model looking wrinkle-free and beautiful, and it turns out that the ads was actually retouched. Commercials today also give young generation a false sense of beauty and attractiveness. For example, Barbie. Barbie promotes an unrealistic idea for body image for young women. A psychology experiment was done in the UK in 2006 by a psychology professor, Helga Dietmar from University of Sussex. The topic was, does Barbie make girls want to be thin? In this experiment, a total of 162 girls from age 5 to 8 were exposed to two types of dolls, were exposed to two types of conditions. One is exposed to Barbie dolls and the other one was exposed to no dolls. And the results came out that the girls who were exposed to Barbie dolls actually have a lower self-esteem and have greater desire to have thinner body shapes than the ones that are not exposed to dolls. Ads may also be used as propagandas. Thomas Adsall of New York Times got this quote straight from a top operative of the Romney campaign. This quote says, "First of all, ads are all propagandas by definition, where in the persuasion business, the propaganda business, ads are agitprop. ads are about hyperbole, they are about editing. It's ludicrous for them to say an ad is taking something out of context. All ads do that. They're manipulated pieces of persuasive art. Of course, all ads are persuasive, but that does not mean they should lie. We all appreciate ads that are honest, straightforward, and not deceptive. Therefore, I hope you all agree with me that ads can mislead and brainwash the viewer, and such act is harmful and it is a negative influence to us. Thank you.
What?
All right, let's begin by pointing out that the proposition has multiple claims in it, and so you need to simplify it to a singular claim. You begin to preview the supporting points, but you only previewed the first point, so it's not really a preview, it's basically just a transition to the first supporting point. We don't know what else is coming in the rest of the speech until we get to those points. When you get to those points, you do a pretty good job signposting those, and so I didn't think that it was disorganized at all. I just think it could have been a little bit easier for listeners to anticipate and build the argument if you'd prepared them earlier. I do think that there's a question about whether or not there is any controversy on at least a large segment of your argument. I don't think there's any doubt that ads can be misleading. The question isn't can they be misleading, because you cite examples of where they are in fact misleading. So, I think that you needed to modify the claim a little bit so that you were arguing that they are likely to be misleading or more frequently than not are misleading. Otherwise, it's just, I think, you can't very well stand up in refuting the argument and say, okay, well, here's somebody who has agreed that they lied, they paid a $6 million fine on that, and that never happened. You can't pretend that that didn't happen. The question becomes, is that representative or typical? How many ads are there every year? How many ads are misleading in the way that you described? And the question of what's misleading, I think, needs to be defined also, and I think you've got a little bit of a problem there, because like the one quote says, it's all persuasion, it's all designed to make something look a particular way, which you say is okay as long as you're not lying. So is your standard that they're lying, in which case the Barbie thing is not doesn't fit there. Most of the ads that you cited are not per se lies, except for the ones that were convicted of false advertising. By the way, I'm not exactly sure why Barbie fits here. Barbie is not an ad. She is a toy, and so that's a completely different element of how people are influenced. They're certainly being influenced there. Now, if you want to say the advertising of Barbie is likely to produce that harm, that would be something that supports your particular claim. I thought that you were rushing a little bit. You still had plenty of time, so I think you could moderate your pace a little. And the problem here is that you're dependent on examples, and most of the examples, I think, there's not going to be a dispute that there's some truth in the example. Like I said, you've got a legal case where somebody paid a fine or is being prosecuted, or they've acknowledged that they've committed some kind of fraud. The real question is that typical or representative? And that's where we need some more information. And I think what's kind of missing maybe is some statistical research to support those points. All right, thank you. Nam?